run through the tape. In life, never give up, run through the tape.
We have a great opportunity in front of us.
I think it's a team that can play with a great swagger and go out and play great basketball.
When you've got two players like Russell and Kevin, the thing that I would try to do is allow both those guys to be who they are.
A coach's roadmap to success looks very different from up close. It can be hard to see beyond the immediate obstacle. Fortunately, Billy Donovan and Fred Hoiberg have the right players to navigate their new direction for the Thunder and Bulls.
Derrick Rose playing downhill, Jimmy Butler getting out the wing and running and letting him attack.
When you're better players, you're hardest working players, you have a chance to get better each and every day.
The early progress is promising. Their stars are healthy. They've beaten championship caliber teams and shown grit in gutsy wins.
LeBron, the turn gets set. Can you believe it?
These teams intersect tonight in an effort to pass another milestone. Thunder and Bulls, followed by the Grizzlies and Blazers on TNT.
All right, the Thunder and the Bulls, all eyes on the point guard matchup. Derrick Rose remains the center of attention in Chicago, but he's had a slow start. Double vision. And tonight, Russell Westbrook is coming to town. Westbrook averaging 29 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists. It's their first meeting since 2010, and it's moments away here on TNT. And we welcome you to Studio J in Atlanta. TNT NBA tip-off presented by Auto Trader. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Grant Hill sitting in for Charles Barkley, who is working the game in Chicago with Kevin Harlan, Reggie Miller, and Craig Sager. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad that
with
you're...
my favorite Tar Heel.
And my favorite guy from Durham.
let's
and
talk.
my neighbor I never see.
I'll never see this
Whose
guy.
fault is that?
His fault.
I'll never see. I don't think
Y'all
Shaq
don't
was
ever
in my
borrow a
neighborhood.
cup of sugar from each other?
Nope.
Well, in that neighborhood, it's probably a gallon.
Looking like a senator, Grant.
Well, you know.
Senator Grant. I'll vote for you, brother.
You're not my brother.
Oklahoma City and Chicago. You got to love this, Westbrook and Rose.
Well, you know, you said it. What, 2010?
2010.
Last time they've been together. You know, two of the most dynamic, athletic point guards, you know, the game has had in the last 10 years. But both of them, you know, obviously Rose has changed his game, but Westbrook hasn't. And so
Rose has had to change his game.
Yeah, so I want to see now if the new Rose is able to handle the old Westbrook, because Westbrook is probably even more athletic than he's been before the injuries. So this is going to be fun to watch. And
how much will Rose guard him? Or will
he has to. He has to.
Will you see more Tony Snell,
or Butler? Yeah, but you know, with what they've done this year with Oklahoma and Billy Donovan is they posted him up at least 6 or 7 times a game. So they feel like he has a power advantage over every guard. Typically, he wouldn't have had it against Rose, but we will see. That's not 2010 Rose. So I want to see if he has that advantage against him to post Derrick Rose up. I don't think anyone's ever tried that ever in the league so far.
Yeah, and Derrick Rose is a short guard, but he's strong. He's physical. And so, you know, I'm curious, too, to see that matchup. But I want to see Durant and Westbrook, those two guys. I mean, the year that Westbrook had last year, now he was in the MVP conversation. And if Durant coming back and he's healthy, he's playing great basketball, I'm not sure we've had in recent years 2 guys that potentially could be MVP candidates. I mean, maybe Shaq and Kobe back in the day. I can think back maybe early 2000s, but seeing these guys sort of play well together, I think they're 71% when they're both healthy in terms of winning percentage. And so just seeing how they can incorporate these two in the mix, new system, new style of play,
Same results.
Same results. Put the ball in their hands and they
Put
get
it
it
in
done.
their hands and they're going to score.
Yeah.
You know, Ernie, a lot of people think Derrick Rose is a little bit fragile. You know, last 2 seasons really haven't had full seasons. But getting off to a slow start, you know, tonight he's going against an elite Russell Westbrook. This is a big test for him, you know, to see if he still has it confidence-wise and to see if he's still an elite player. Because a lot of times when you're a player and you're going up another great player, you use that great player to see where you are. So I'm very interested in seeing this matchup and seeing if Derrick Rose still has it. Because, you know, a lot of people are saying that, you know, he's lost it, you know, he's lost his edge. You know, there's talk of, you know, it's Jimmy Butler's team now, getting rid of him because, you know, he doesn't have any more. So he needs to use this Westbrook character to say, you know what, I'm still the man. I've been hurt the last couple of years, but this is my game. And tonight is a game that he needs to step up.
Thunder coming off a game in which they lost to the Toronto Raptors, were outscored 30-17 in the fourth quarter. Meantime, the Bulls coming off a loss to the Charlotte Hornets, a game in which they gave up 130 points. And after the game, Jimmy Butler was talking about the Chicago defense, and other teams have just been missing shots, to tell you the truth. We score enough points, but that's not the problem. When you don't stop anybody, when they put up 130, we got to nip that in the bud now, because that is not winning basketball. Those weren't the only really pointed comments made after that game. Even Fred Hoiberg saying there was too much individual effort. He said it was as if nobody had anybody's back on that team. There was no fight and there was no resolve. Been a while since you heard that coming out of a Chicago camp.
Well, trust comes from, not only offensively, defensively. Trust meaning, like, if the defensive scheme is we're going to send the guy baseline. But I'm going to send him baseline knowing that the guy behind me, if I'm the point guard, is going to be there. And there's a lack of trust, which then leads to a lack of basketball play and good play by the Chicago Bulls. And that's the new system. And, you talk about Thibodeau leaving. He had a system that they trusted in. It may not scored a lot of points, but you saw everybody on their team trusted it. Here's a guy, who's been an all-star, playing 18 minutes a game. So you have new guys in bigger roles. You got Snell in a bigger role, McDermott in a bigger role.
All these guys in the starting lineup.
These guys have never been in winning time. They've been in playing time, but they've never been in an NBA game in winning time. And this is going to be a long process for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, and to Kenny's point, look, Joakim Noah, 2 years ago was fourth place in the MVP balloting. Now he's playing a few minutes off the bench. So to me, you're saying we're going to sacrifice defense for offense. They were last 5 years, top 5 in defense efficiency. Now they're in the middle of the pack. So that's what happens. And of course, offensively, still.
And he's the best passer, big man, possibly in the game.
He's a great passing big man. But the question is, can Noah and Gasol coexist in this new sort of pace and space style of play? And will Noah, going into a contract year, will he be there?
No, he's not going to be. That's the writing's on the wall. You play a guy who's, is an all-star Shaq, that few minutes, you're saying we don't need him here. And so there are teams that are looking and going, ooh, we could use this guy and take us over the top and get to an NBA championship, and Noah is one of those type of guys.
You got the last 20 seconds.
I've been here 5 years. Usually when you mention Chicago, it's all about defense. This year they're talking about offense. And, to take the anchor of the defense and put him on the bench, I think that's sending the wrong message. And for Jimmy Butler to leave a comment like that under Coach Thibodeau, comment would have never been made. Matter of fact, the team wouldn't even score 130 points. So they have to get back to their original style of play, which is defense, and add the new offensive system.
Unless you change
become
players.
a great team.
Unless you want to change personnel. That's not a personnel team to do that.
Later on tonight, Memphis and Portland, Marv Albert, Chris Webber, Rachel Nichols will have that call. Back with more in just a second. Perfect Match is presented by AutoTrader, and AutoTrader is giving fans the chance to win great prizes all season long by logging on to NBA.com/perfectmatch and voting for your winning teams. Tonight, Thunder and Bulls. Who you got, Shaq?
I'm going to go with the Thunder. Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, second, third best backcourt in the league playing. They have something to prove still. I think they're a little bit jealous that Golden State won it before them, so they have something to prove.
62% of America is agreeing with you at this point. Who you got?
Both teams are figuring it out, but Thunder has to figure out less. I'm going with the Thunder.
Grant?
I'm going to go with the Bulls.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. I didn't want to stump over.
I'm just looking at the. I'm looking at the.
Spoken like a true senator.
I'm going with Chicago. They're at home. They had a bad loss.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler called everybody out.
Yeah. What is it with these glasses anyway?
These are my Charles Barkley hater blockers.
I regret putting
Charles,
those on.
I don't see you. Where are you, Barkley? I don't see you.
Those are real diamonds, too.
You know that?